Absolutely. We'll see what comes in. Game 1 is a foot for picks and bans. TSM hoping to match records with both Counter Logic Gaming and Immortals. I should say Counter Logic Gaming if they can win their match over Phoenix 1. That one's still ongoing right now, but 12-4 is the current #1 spot in North America. If CLG win and if TSM win, it's a 3-way tie up there with Immortals. We can see LeBlanc, Thresh, Elise all off the table. It is pretty common to see Elise bans, like especially against scary junglers like LirA. Zach and Caitlyn pretty much standard as well, and we'll see what their third ban is going to be if they care about the Maokai, the Cho'Gath, or something else.
Yeah, to me it's between Maokai and even Kalista, actually. Cho'Gath has fallen down a bit. Sometimes we've seen people actually drop the Maokai ban for a Kalista one, though, if they want to target 80 carries. Just because she's so good right now, mid-game power spikes, controlled objectives. It's kind of ridiculous from the bottom side.
I think there's actually some metagame things with Kalista as well, because I think she's a very good matchup into Sivir, who I think is otherwise a great pick. When you've got double tank teams at both sides, Ricochet good at killing them, and the haste good for your own tanks as well, and Kalista kind of cannibalizes her a bit, so it's very interesting seeing that interaction go through, but TSM actually going to leave that one on the table. Gragas going to be their first pick. Still can be a jungle and top flex. Get a couple of top Gragases, but it's like 90% a jungler.
Yeah. The one reason I would give for, letting the Kalista go through a little bit to see if your opponents jump on it is the Tristana, which, people are happy to play it into, but it still does have those benefits of, explosive shot and then the scaling later with your crit multipliers.
Right.
So many teams, though, and Apollo himself going to be happy to get his hands on Kalista.
Yeah, Kalista Cho'Gath the grab right here. We'll see if it's Seraph or LirA playing this champion. We know Apollo's going to be on the Kalista, and we'll see what gets paired alongside that one. TSM waiting for their pickups. As you mentioned, Tristana reaction to Kalista very, very frequent. You saw Jarvan hovers earlier. I would not be surprised to see that one grabbed. Worth noting, though, there's a lot of really, really good mid laners available as well. Only one mid lane ban, so Orianna, Syndra, Taliyah, things like this, all on the table if Bjergsen wants one.
Definitely true, and we have seen another trend as well. Red side team third picking their mid laner and then throwing 2 more bans at it. So if Bjergsen wants to get his in quickly before possibly 3 more of them are taken off the table, then
there it is.
Gonna have to go now.
And Syndra, I think, makes the most sense of the blind picks. You don't want to pick Ori and then see a Syndra against you to knock you out of the lane and out roam on you. Nisqy, see what he can do with the squad. He's had a pretty decent record with the team overall. Envy have been a little bit downwards of late. They were maybe part of the first top 5, and now it's been moving around a little bit. But Taliyah's going to be the counter pick there to Syndra. So we have potentially actually exactly mirrored roles. Depends to see where the Cho'Gath and the Gragas go. But we know both teams need support, and both teams need a flex jungle top.
Yeah, no big curveballs yet. We've been pretty much tracking the, highly expected routes through this pick ban so far. We'll see if they actually follow this up. Support going to be the next role targeted here from Team Envy to try and get themselves a little bit better of a duo as well. Wow, TSM also taking out the Blitzcrank. That combination with the extendo pull is always fun to watch. I haven't seen it quite, this year since Kalista's come back in the meta, but always keeping my eye out because Blitzcrank, is on a similar rise. So hopefully at one point we'll see those, entire screen length pulls, but
Ballista combo, I think, is the term for it. Yeah, we're not going to come out here in this one for sure. Envy will see which role they want to go for first. If they want to grab the best support available. Still remains to be seen. 8 seconds to go, so that phase is going to end. The Kennen support ban actually off the table. Yeah,
and honestly, to me, I actually, for TSM's side, would prefer one of the supports, not one of these playmaking ones, but one of the Ardent sensor rushers. Just grab a shield there, and then you kind of cement yourselves as, okay, if it goes late, we are going to win, because we have the Tristana, we have the Ardent sensor, rushing support, and it kind of gives you that really solid late game insurance. Whereas Team Envy, they have the Taliyah, which going against Syndra is, definitely necessary to dodge, stuns, and it's a little worrisome early on, but you get that roam. As soon as you can start getting the shove and start to roam around, you can have more early plays and get down to a Kalista lane that's perfectly set up with a lot of crowd control, and might be able to
there it is.
Snowball ahead.
As you mentioned, Ardent Sensor users, Lulu going to be picked up here for Biofrost. Kobe continues to be an intelligent man, good brain and all that. Shen is going to be, for the second time in a row, actually.
I'm getting old. We'll see how long it lasts.
You got time to go, trust me. Hauntzer is going to be, second time in a row, Shen against Cho'Gath here in the top lane. I know when Azael and I were covering the last TSM game, we both felt that it was a little Cho'Gath favorite, although Hauntzer still made the game work and won the game in the end of the day. Rakan going to be the pick alongside Apollo here in the bot lane. And so it does mean that those early picks in the Gragas and Cho Or sorry, with Rek'Sai being grabbed up, Cho's going top lane, of course, and that Gragas is going to go to the jungle for TSM.
I actually find the Shen Cho'Gath, you know, as far as tank matchups go at least, pretty interesting.
Okay.
Because I always like to watch, you know, how long the Shen player can, you know, hold on to the dash. The Cho'Gath animations are pretty long and definitely telegraphed, so it's definitely, there's some outplay. There's a little bit less now that Cho'Gath gets his auto attack slows, but there we go. There's your playmaking. Bottom side, as we were talking about, Kalista lane with any sort of playmaking support is going to be a great spot to roam to, and Nisqy on Taliyah is the perfect one to do that. We shall see as well. Keep your eyes on LirA. As we said, you know, he had a rough day yesterday, but this guy is a top-notch jungler here in the North American LCS, so we expect him to rebound. Maybe not as good as Contracts just did on his Rek'Sai game, but
player of the game.
We'll see.
We will see, and here we are into game one shortly of TSM taking on Team EnVy. TSM again in a battle for that playoff bye. This is a team, a squad that has never missed an NA LCS final, but this feels like one of the most top-heavy splits we've had here in North America. TSM, Immortal, CLG, Dignitas, Cloud9, I think, are all squads that look like they potentially could win the entire thing. EnVy right now on the outside looking in, but hoping to improve by the end of it all. Certainly they've improved off their 10th place performance from last split. We'll see if they can get it even higher here against one of the North American sweethearts in TSM. Game one's afoot.
All right, no sweepers yet, so we're not going to have any of those shenanigans for trying to kill Raptor wards, get early experience. Also, let me check on LirA just to make sure he's not running an experience ward or quintessence.
I'm going to check watch.lolesports.com. It'll tell me.
All right, go.
Shameless plug.
I had Captain Flowers be the detective earlier this week.
I like playing detective.
We'll see,
I'm totally okay with this.
See if you can follow up.
All right, LirA's rune page just has 3 attack speed points.
All right, so he's not going for the, you know, Raptors red scuttle that we've seen quite often.
Yeah,
those sort of shenanigans.
Sven doesn't have XP either. He's running triple ability power.
Yeah, it's super rare for Gragas. Definitely wouldn't expect it, but that's how you catch people off guard.
See, there you go. I checked just to make sure. Figured while I was there.
Are they even going to get their Raptor ward down? Neither team really has that level 1, like a Morgana or, you know, Braum or something that that really threatens the level 1s and threatens those kills on fights over Raptor wards. But we might see a little bit of damage traded. Just, you know, the CC is not really here for any sort of level 1 kills. Let's get. He missed. Oh, he hit him.
No, he did damage. Ago's got a shield. This is passive. Nisqy not going to put any shots in either. Biofrost has a spell thief though. He could get 24 gold. Not going to find anything.
Eventful Raptor invade.
And I've seen this invade twice now actually in the couple days. One goes in that front brush, then one across the wall into the red buff to track exactly where the Gragas started. They will figure out that he's actually been doing a blue start here. Biofrost wants to get some cheeky damage over the wall. 8 gold to Biofrost. He's blinging.
And he waited. He did not shoot the support. He waited for the AD carry to come so he could get his damage onto Apollo. See if that one sticks, though. Ooh, missed out on some minions. The slow from Glitter Lance as well. Not only is it the damage, he denied him that minion.
Incredible, 20 gold.
That was all Biofrost.
Wow, MVP performance already, player of the game. It's already been determined. You can't come back from this, ladies and gentlemen. It's now impossible. Put out the missing pings, Apollo, now F tier.
Oh God, please no, please no with your tier list.
I'm sorry, you're making me tear up about this. And TSM gonna actually keep the push going in the bot lane. Yeah, boomy for that one, thank you. And you can see actually perfect CS out of DoubleLift, 12 out of 12. Quick scuttle grab here for LirA, gonna help make sure the bot lane is safe. That said, EnVy are under their turret anyway. It's not gonna mean too much, but Sven's gonna walk by and see it's gone. And just say, hey, yep, I'm here. You got some coverage, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, they also do see that, you know, he's not stopped off at his red yet, so LirA is gonna take that one down in his notes for a little bit of a delayed timer on the red. Just in case. You always want to keep track of every little bit of information you get as a jungler. LirA is actually one of the best at doing that. And it's something that you have to like go back and watch the VODs, because when he gets something like that, he'll kind of expect you to be in an area maybe a few minutes later and set up one of his gank paths to the opposite side of the map, because he knows, oh, there's no counter gank coming. You know, there's like a 90% probability that he's back for second respawn.
Right, there's a bunch of really interesting things, again, because they saw that he was a blue start. You know, Raptors are not going to be that 4:30 respawn as though if you'd done it first. You know, he knows that it's going to be like an 8:15 respawn on the red buff and things like this. And you never know. Sometimes those timings really do matter. We'll see as TSM going back and forth here in this one. You've got farm leads kind of across the map, every single member. Aside from Biofrost, unlucky, has more CS than their opponent. But it's kind of good stuff right here. You know, it's been a team. Hauntzer in his interview yesterday said that TSM have arguably the most individually skilled team in North America. And it's certainly been a good strength for them. They're certainly strong in the early game in the landing phase. But LirA able to deduce that the Gromp was never taken. He's going to try to steal it.
As we said, no, there's going to be a little bit of extra time there. He has Smite too, so he'll secure it. And those are just the small victories here.
Yeah. And it really is smart. He saw 10 CS out of the Gragas and said, yep, I know exactly what camp that was. That was blue, wolves, and raptors, no scuttle. And, you know, very smart of him to know exactly what camp to go for, and it was really nice. Ooh, unlucky there, Hauntzer.
The tricky cannon. Yep. Ever so elusive. Still doing better than Seraph is, though, even though Seraph's gone back for the first back to get his Glacial
Shroud. Yeah, it's going to be a Righteous Glory rest. Almost always.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be Frozen Heart or anything.
It's just that, along with the Vaporal Slow now, with the spikes, just guarantees that you get an engagement onto somebody, and then you can stick there as well. It really just shores up a lot of the reasons why people didn't pick Cho'Gath before.
Yep.
It was an unreliable champion. It was very easy to dodge. You know, long-range Rupture is super easy to dodge.
Absolutely.
Even with base move speed, a lot of people get out of that one pretty easily, but new Cho'Gath, you know, gets the charge in there and start the slows.
I think my favorite line about this was G2's Sven was talking about Nidalee, saying if you have a mouse, you can dodge the skill shot. I think it applies to Rupture as well. He meant it for Nidalee. But what's nice about this team, though, is they've got a Rek'Sai and a Rakan. Both of them have, I would say, pretty reliable opening crowd control with either, you know, quickness into the W dance and everything else. So the follow-through is definitely there for both Nisqy and Seraph. I think EnVy have some very scary engagements. Speaking of which, Hauntzer looking for a battle onto Seraph, getting some decent damage down, but traded back at the end by a nice Rupture.
Yeah,
you would see.
Seraph really wants to grab these, executes on the minions as well for the passive heal. Should be fine after that. Cho'Gath can sustain a bit better than Shen. Big difference though, Shen level 6 now with Stand United available. He would definitely have to back up a long range. Cho'Gath, you know, has many ways of interrupting the Shen Stand United, so he has to be a little bit careful if TSM want to set up that bottom side. I always do like seeing, you know, those plays set up in advance, where you have your jungler there as well, and everyone's coordinated and ready for this, you know, bottom lane play. That being said, TSM's bottom lane is playing against the Kalista Rakan combo you talk about, and don't always get the choice when
really don't.
The play's about to start with that duo.
Sometimes life is hard. Want to point out something interesting. Hakuho actually had put 2 points into his Q into the Gleaming Quill early on. I don't know if that was a misclick or if he really wanted the better cooldown for a better sort of poke pattern, but he did wait a little bit on starting to get points into that dance. Grand entrance, I should say, to get the name proper. The W, the engage tool. Putting points into it now. Either way, this game has gone back to tie as far as the landing phase is concerned, as they've done a pretty decent job on all sides of trading farm back and forth. And you wait to see as the first recalls do come through. Nice for doubles to get that BF sword back. This is kind of what happens if you have lane dominance. You can wait until it's a 1,300 plus gold recall.
Yeah.
You know, Apollo would be happy for 900 gold back with his Vamp Scepter, but Double wants to wait longer.
The other
thing,
yeah, and the other thing with those backs, though, and the timings of those backs, also sets up TSM free Infernal Drake.
Yeah.
So incredibly good here to time with that back. I mean, they communicated to Sven, we are forcing the back right now. I'm going to get the BF sword, perfect timing for this, plus sneak into the back of that Infernal. They have, look at those, what was that, 4 wards into the blue quadrant of EnVy jungle. Just those small, clean plays like that are the things that are very necessary for top teams to do, right?
Yeah.
Talked about EnVy, they're currently in the playoffs. Like, they're in this playoff race.
Yeah.
You know, it's their spot to lose, and this could very well be one of the teams that TSM would play in those playoffs.
This could very well be the first round opponent. This is very likely to be the first round opponent if TSM don't actually secure a bye. It's pretty likely they get 3rd place and you know, play up against number 6 Team EnVy right now. So certainly maybe a precursor of things to come. Early Infernal Drake certainly quite nice. Next one up is Cloud. We'll see if that one lasts in the map for quite a while or if it's just picked up to keep the chain going. Level 6 for Sven. We'll see if he goes for his first gank. LirA, though, already to 7. Has not found his way into the lanes either just yet on the Rek'Sai. Nice pop for Hauntzer, gets some damage. Manages to dodge the rupture, just used to knock down some minions. And Seraph getting pushed around a fair bit.
That's what I was kind of talking about earlier when I was talking about how I like the Shen Cho'Gath matchup. It's so much about you know, the positioning of the Shen and dodging those AoE abilities that have very long, you know, tells basically with the animations for his skills. Hauntzer able to do some ninja-like dodging there and get a very good trade for himself. The Golem also deceptively ninja-like.
Yeah.
Runs a full circle.
Ran quick.
Gets back to home.
Ooh, nice big stun there on a Nisqy. And yeah, the attempted boost are not quite going to work out. They're going to try again for round 2. You're going to get back to the mid lane. And
save Golem.
Going to show nice smite. Sven gets it away, but here comes the ulti. And Apollo going to look for the first kill to give it Hakuho. Gets the quickness jump in. 2 stunned in. And in switches across exhausted and double. If there's the Rek'Sai ulti as well for a bit more damage. Can they knock him down? The Trist is going to fall. First blood in for LirA.
DoubleLift goes down. And again, yeah, Hauntzer has Stand United available, but Seraph is right next to him. There's no way he can get away from this Cho'Gath. You could say, hey, maybe he should have at least given the shield, even if he doesn't arrive. But it looked like DoubleLift was toast anyway, and it's a long cooldown early on Shen. Don't want to waste it.
And Sven's going to fight for his own buff, but he's in a 1v2. Makes it a bit difficult, and now it's a 1v3 as Nisqy shows as well. Smite is up for LirA and not for Sven. And it is going to go over, and actually, via the smite, goes to Nisqy.
Yeah, he smites right before the seismic shove, so I don't know if they were talking about that and coordinated it. It is really nice to have that on Taliyah, but regardless, they're able to get that one over to the mid laner. Anyways, here's DoubleLift. And yeah, I feel like it was communicated that I am, you know, pretty much dead here from DoubleLift, he says, so don't even try and lend me the shield. You know, I don't have any, you know, more movement. I already flashed, so good on TSM, I guess, to hold on to that cooldown. For Envy, though, this is the momentum that they need, right? You want to start playing off that bottom lane. They use both ultimates of Kalista and Rakan, but they're honestly not very long cooldowns, even early on in the game. So you could look for a repeat. Just have to keep in mind that TSM didn't blow that Stand United, so it's still a possible trap card.
It can be. You have to watch out. Don't activate those too early unless you're ready for them. Watch out for this. Right now, those 700 gold lead for Team Envy's got a field pretty decent. Apollo also holding on to a nice farm lead now as a result partially of that kill and everything else that's happened. But keep in mind that's still being offset by the Infernal Drake TSM have picked up. So not going to feel too bad about blue team's chances so far into this game. Sven has still not managed to make himself part of any aggressive plays. And that can be fine as long as your team is comfortable to outshot call in the mid game.
I would call the Infernal Drake maybe not an aggressive play,
okay,
but an intelligent play, I guess.
I agree.
I actually think I would classify it as aggressive. You know, it is team, you know, coordinated, and they, you know, took the necessary steps to make it less risky, but still aggressive, I guess. And I think it was such a big issue, especially since, you know, they're facing a Taliyah team. They have a Cho'Gath on top side that could interrupt the Stand United anyway for TSM. So for them to, you know, get down there, especially with a mid laner like Taliyah, that's kind of difficult in sneaking away first dragons. I think it was actually quite a big play from them. Envy, though, let's see what they can do with this gold lead, because they definitely want to keep up the pressure. The ultimates are back for the duo. Kalista, Rakan, ready to roll.
We'll see what they can find. Of course, Stand United is available, as you mentioned before. It could always stymie this aggression. Currently sitting on 1,000 gold against this Infernal, and Envy still cutting back and forth and just playing the wave of their game in mid. 4 minion difference to the mid side. Nisqy holding up against Bjergsen. This Taliyah doing well against the blind pick Syndra so far. Early Merc Tread's picked up. It looks like he's actually going towards Nisqy as the pieces of early banking as well. So really building to handle the 1v1 and going to be, I guess, scaling up a bit more later on to this one.
Such a high value item versus Syndra if you can, you know, block that long range stun. A lot of times that's just going to save your entire life right there and open up for so many more roaming plays. Because that's the thing with this Syndra-Taliyah matchup. Yes, Syndra has 1v1 kill pressure, but Taliyah, if she can get away, definitely can roam first. Trying to affect the rest of the map, and right now, it's actually Syndra. Bjergsen here, roaming first with Ben.
Double flash comes in, but they're going to knock back Apollo. Beautiful explosive cast. Here comes Shen, a bit of time bought. Beautiful out of Hakuho as well to buy more time, but it's not going to be enough. Holding comes in for Bjergsen. The gameplay button works out. Now Biofrost a bit low. Kill comes through to LirA, his second of the game, and now it's back on towards Bjergsen. There's the pick off by Seraph. A nice chop coming down, and now Sven cutting back, but low on health. One more comes through, a double kill out of Seraph into this one, and now just between the turrets, nothing for TSM to do. 4 of them are going to drop, you have to assume, and yes, it's only DoubleLift left alive. a catastrophic fight out of TSM goes haywire.
That was a 4-man dive by TSM. Everyone goes past the turret except for DoubleLift, so there's no AD carry DPS when all of EnVy collapse. Now, it is a good initial play here from TSM, but it's a little bit early since they saw Hakuho and Apollo leaving the turret. And that's good by Apollo and Hakuho to leave the turret before the minion wave gets there. I guess DoubleLift was a bit zoned off by Seraph. That's why he did not join. You can see on the mini-map there, but what a good collapse for EnVy here, getting a bunch of kills for themselves. Even though DoubleLift gets the first turret gold during this catastrophic event, as you called it.
Yeah.
It's still definitely a gold advantage here for EnVy, and TSM giving a little bit more away.
Yeah, EnVy going +3 in kills is going to be worth 1250, 1350 in total gold, as you count assists and all that. So yeah, it is worth more than first turret by a couple hundred here. And as we go into the outsides, this one, it's TSM putting their duo top side, looking for Hakuho. Riftfield going down as well towards EnVy.
Round
He's
2
available.
They still don't have Kalista or Rakan ultimates back up yet. There's a few seconds on them.
Double got some good damage though. BF Pickaxe plus Zeal is nice. It's probably a bit better than Root King at this point in time, but Apollo might scale up soon enough. Hell's gonna reset. TSM are first to mid lane a little bit, but Nisqy's gonna wave clear.
It's interesting too when you're evaluating like, oh, what was worth? How much did X team win that trade by? When you're comparing renewable sources of gold basically with either minions or kills with static sources basically. Outer turrets are pretty easy to knock down and not renewable. But here we go, Rift Herald. She is also not renewable, only has 1 life, but it takes a long time to take it.
Does it count as 2 when you resummon it though? To be like pedantic about it?
Technically, since you get 25 gold on both kills, then
yes. All right.
That is renewable, but the power you get from the 1 activation.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm being pedantic, but hey, James Bond here, you only live twice, and EnVy's going to hope that they can make use of that one. Or sorry, I should say TSM is. Meanwhile, EnVy capitalizing on the fact that TSM had 4 top lane, going for this Cloud Drake. Seraph gets a feast stack with the ultimate, and yes, that puts him onto 6 already. I'm going to check the tooltip to see how many were small minions. I think it was only about 3 of the 6. So
that one doesn't really matter then. You can get to 6 off whatever you want.
Yep. It's been 1 dragon, 1 champion, and then 4 have been lesser objectives. So Seraph only has 2 lesser feasts left. The rest have to be on big targets, but he's at 6 right now, so feels pretty good for him. He's in a good spot.
Let's see where that puts him in his 1v1 with Shen. Now that Hauntzer is actually trying to get some momentum going on that bottom lane split push. Top side might need his attention though, and he does have Stand United available, so he's backing off a bit from Seraph again. As you can see, Cho'Gath requires a wide berth.
See if they can get into this one. Hauntzer does have the team out, and he's building towards magic resist. Cho'Gath very much a magic damage focused champion, unsurprising. The true damage certainly is there as well, but it'll still block a little bit on Hauntzer's side. Grass for both of these players, and looks like it's going to be a nice holding pattern. Hauntzer going to be able to wade through under the turret without too many issues.
Let's return a little bit to our discussion of the compositions overall as well that we're talking about in Champ Select, because as the game, there are these lulls that we've been having for a few minutes at a time. Remember, it is TSM with the Tristana, with the Ardent Sensor, building support here for the late game that feel pretty comfortable, even though they're losing right now. They've got Infernal Drake stacking up, gaining power as the game goes on, plus the multiplicative builds that they have going for themselves. So it's really, that's why we keep saying Team EnVy, what are they going to do next? What is Team EnVy going to do about this? Because it's kind of a little bit more onus on them to create some action, create some pressure, and kind of further their gold lead.
Absolutely agree with you in this one. There's a nice body slam out of Sven. They're going to knock back Apollo. The knockup is there as well. Beautiful out of Biofrost, and 1 deletion already here. Hakuho forced to run is going to get out, but a 1-for-0 still favors TSM. They got control over top lane.
Well, it is going to be TSM creating the play, actually, and they should also be able to, evenly trade the turrets afterwards. So big difference will be the extra kill going over. That was on Apollo. He didn't use his summoners though, so at least there's that for Team EnVy.
And Seraph with the alone time, as you mentioned, is going to be able to equalize the turret scores here, and maybe a small CS lead, but +1 kill still is a positive on TSM's side. You can see this gold getting a little bit closer onto this one. And yeah, you mentioned the scaling, in my opinion. Actually, we'll talk about this replay first.
All right, Svenskeren going to face check. He'll be happy to find what he got with the face check. It is the AD carry, perfect, right in the middle of the team. Double knock up there. Biofrost actually had a very nicely timed wild growth to make sure that Apollo was going nowhere. And they were able to find that extra kill. A bunch of balls on the ground. I guess Bjergsen just used his ultimate for a bunch of damage on Nisqy, yes.
Yep.
He was on the receiving end, it looks like. Detective work. Pretty easy
Well
on this
done.
one. Bunch of balls on the ground. There's a low health mid laner. What happened?
A slip and fall at a Chuck E. Cheese. Broke his ankle in the ball pit. I don't know. Went down the slide wrong. Ooh, did Sven lose the Rift Herald? Did he get CC'd by something? Because he started channeling and it didn't.
Oh, maybe he started doing it too late. Oh, actually, once you start it, it won't time out, right?
Yeah, looks like it was Rupture. I got a call out from production. So yeah, props to Seraph. Looks like Rift Herald does not live twice, and hey, down he goes. So she, yeah. Well, yeah, I went he for Sven, but you're right, she for Rift Herald. Either one could be accurate, and we are going to see round 2 of pushing as Apollo's back on the top side, but not going to get much for this one just yet. Still waiting to have the rest of the scaling come up. DoubleLift about to be at 2 items, similar for Apollo. I would say at 2 items, I think it's still a bit Kalista favored when she gets the Hurricane done. But after that point, it starts getting really, really hairy for Envy, and we'll see if they can keep the pressure on from that point onwards. Sven wants in. Nice grab. I believe it was actually LirA who got him, but knocked back again. Here comes the knock-in, though. Looking to buy a bit more time for LirA, cutting back towards the rest of the team. Hakuho going to try and run back as well. Nice toss them out of the front line. They might pick off LirA. Still got 1500 health to work with. Here comes the Kalista. Ulti Seraph going to fire back again, and yes, it's Bjergsen. Paid up the kill with the Unleashed power. Just Envy cannot find a way in on this one. Out they go, 1-0 TSM.
Seraph teleports and flashes into the middle of TSM, but he doesn't have Beast off of cooldown here. So there was no big threat. That's where Cho'Gath, big threat. Everyone's complaining about right now, the state of the champion. It's all about, the Beast. Yeah, he's got Rupture and the AoE silence is nice, but after that, he just gets 4v1 in the middle of the team and taken down so quickly. TSM get another kill. They get some more gold. And we keep cautioning against, the curve that's possible for this game. Definitely looks to be benefiting TSM here. They were the ones to start this one out. Svenskeren, a little bit of defense on his own jungle. Knocks in the jungler first. Hakuho only knocks up the tank there, so they know that there's a lot of cooldowns not available. There's Seraph. Look at that. Teleports right into the enemy team, but not going to be able to get much done. Uh-oh.
And a fight on the top side, and there we go, immediately the kill off on a Bjergsen, getting the shutdown in. He's now 2-2. For the knock-up, a great Rupture out of Seraph, forces the flash out of Sven. And at least a trade 1-0 now, Envy getting the same as they had before. Drake up in 25 seconds.
Yeah, pretty good timing there for Envy. They get right back out onto the field. Nisqy uses the Taliyah ultimate. They pick off Bjergsen. This should set them up, grab this Cloud Drake. And they're trying to lay the groundwork for it first. Get the Scuttle Crab, get some vision down there. Bjergsen will be trailing on the spawn. But actually, since Apollo is recalling right now, they probably won't be in a position to rush it too quickly. Bjergsen will be up in 5 seconds, and TSM, well, I don't know about that one.
Risk, but they're going to try. They're going to burst down as fast as they can. Here comes Seraph. He's got Beast, though. He can't get it quite in time. He tried, and he couldn't. And barely, just barely, TSM knocks it down first. Cloud Drake to TSM.
Are you kidding? I'm going to say they should not have been able to do that. Let's take a look at this pick, though. Nice really good Taliyah wall and seismic shove from Nisqy. Nice play from him there in the mid lane. But the rewards that they were looking for off of that kill were not there. They even got the Scuttle Crab and saw TSM get in there, but they just burned it down so quickly. Seraph couldn't even get into range with his Righteous Glory for the Beast, and TSM just snapped that one away from under their noses.
Yeah, nicely done by them, and it means the neutral objective continue to stack up. Seraph not going to get any pressure on this bot lane as well, as Hauntzer just continues to scale and get stronger and stronger. Visage done. He's going to be fairly tanky for himself. And again, this gold just remains within 1400. Second major item done for both these marksmen. Similar for the mid laners, or close to it, as Bjergsen double blasting wand. There we go, Banshee's Veil picked up, going towards Void Staff next, you assume. But 2 items in for him, 2 items in as well, as Nisqy finishes Berlin Nabokov. We are not too far away from Locket for LirA.
We're also not too far away from, possible picks around Baron. So these wards that you're watching get cleared out right now are actually pretty important, as both teams are putting so much effort into setting up for this vision on the top quadrant of the map. Mid turret now under fire, and that one's definitely going to be a big one for jungle control here around that Baron.
DoubleLift not being threatened. 2 more attacks. Knock it down. Has to kite back first because here comes the entrance. He's going to be several silences and charms out of Hakuho, but no fight to be had just yet. NB forced back right away. All they really did is get Svenskeren down to half HP and get Bjergsen's cleanse, or sorry, ghost out of him.
One shot on this turret as well. This one's going down for sure.
Gets away from the seismic shove. Down it goes nicely done to DoubleLift. 3-1 in turrets, game within 1,000 gold.
Becomes pretty scary here for Envy. I mean, that was a decent look for them, for Hakuho getting inside. Oh, they actually get the dub on his Sven.
Here comes the ulti, so several that will give him the shield. He's going to survive for a whole lot longer. The beat's going to come through, and Seraph getting himself that kill. 3 for him now in the game. It's a 5v4 as they force back Hauntzer down below 1,000 HP. They have knocked down the tanks well. The wall is going to block off too, and Hauntzer doesn't actually have flash. He can't get away. The seismic shove is in, and they're going to get the kill picked up. Beautiful out of Nisqy to force the summoners, force the kill to come through. A 2-0. Envy have control over the Baron area. No jungler alive, but not going to go over the fight over the Baron just yet.
Another really nice wall there from Nisqy to pick up the extra kill. But as you said, they don't really feel safe to do the Baron because there is still a teleport on Hauntzer. So if they get harassed by TSM while they're setting up for it, and then that buys enough time for Hauntzer to come back, then they could get caught inside the Baron pit. And if they lose that fight, it would kind of be that devastating, mid-game swing over to the scaling team that takes away most of your chances of winning. So Envy show a little bit of restraint after they get these picks and don't give anything back to TSM. Here's the initial one though. That was a nice grab onto Svenskeren. And then the follow-up here. Taliyah wall right down the middle, just barely touches corners there with the blue buff. It even knocks Bio back over the wall. But Hauntzer not so lucky.
Nope. Less slippery than a ninja should be. That's the way it comes down for him. Unlucky there, and you can see Envy actually doing a good job getting it back to a 2,000 gold lead, and maybe they can keep it going. LirA very much building for utility. Knight's Vow and the lock it in to keep the teammates alive a bit better.
And LirA has had such a better game this time around, right? Yesterday we talked about he was having a really rough time. He's got 100% kill participation for Team Envy. He's definitely doing well on this Rek'Sai, and as you said, he's doing that while building supportive. Rush the Knight's Vow into the Locket. These are the most team-oriented builds you can get for this mid-game. They want those to coincide with the massive lifesteal that Kalista has in this mid-game spike for them to have a power spike. They have to make this one work though, because time is definitely running out, and TSM are pressuring the secondary turret.
Ooh, and just barely Bjergsen gets the left-hand side of the wall. He's going to stay alive, but that could have been a potential flash force. Nisqy buying basically a minion wave with that ulti use. Out they go once again. TSM going to try again later.
All right, Seraph is also pushing up on the bottom side. 4-1 here from Team Envy. It's got a little bit of pressure, but you can't get damage onto the turret, so this doesn't mean a tremendous amount. If you go too close to the turret, Shen gets his taunt off, and he can actually start winning trades with you as Cho'Gath if the Cho'Gath is under the turret. So it gets a little bit dangerous.
We'll see what comes up next right now. Seraph has components of either Randuin's or a Thornmail. Could be either one. We'll see what he actually goes for. Certainly could be worth it to cut down lifesteal off the opponents. And now Hauntzer going to find a battle with Seraph, but getting pushed away. However, DoubleLift's around. Battle for red buff. Seraph could win easily with his ulti. But does he need it for the fight, though? Silenced once again, and he's going to give that one over nicely to Apollo. So a red buff steal to Team Envy, and they are still pushing forward with this mid-game.
All right. It's kind of, the power of Envy is peaking right now. Red buff on Kalista. They've got all necessary items to complement her power. They have both ultimates available from the bottom lane duo. It's time for that explosive mid-game fight. TSM just wanted to stay calm, though. They're looking for a little bit more time. DoubleLift is almost up to Rapid Fire Cannon to also, complement his Infinity Edge and Static Shift here. He actually can go complete it whenever he wants.
And that's really the power spike where I feel like Tristana is just a better team fighter than a Kalista. And Envy have gotten themselves to a 2,000 gold lead with a good early game, and LirA and Apollo and the rest of the team have done a good job making that happen. But now it's a time where we've really been scared about for Team Envy, which is where TSM, I think, have better team fighting. Void Staff done for Bjergsen, Rapid Fire Cannon done for DoubleLift. The tank killing is now here and available. So So things to watch for as DoubleLift walks in, level 13. He's got the attack range, max rapid fires in there, and that's a 550 damage onto Apollo right there from a single auto attack.
Yeah, it's 634 attack range for Tristana at the level 13. Then with the rapid fire cannon, extendo auto attack that you get after that, yeah, should be quite nice. Anyways, here's the trades, how close they are without the tower. Without the tower, it's fine for Seraph. He just heals up off the minions, no problem. But that's kind of one of the reasons why he can't split push super effectively against the Shen. And it's actually a decent late game pick there where it's a complete blocker.
Seems to work just fine. They are both going towards Thornmail, actually, since there's sustain on both of these sides, and especially with the fact that Hauntzer is dealing with a pretty heavy lifesteal build out of the Kalista. When Mortis is done, it's the second lifesteal item.
Yeah, I think that's actually 100% necessary item in the current state of the game. There's just so much lifesteal. Almost every team composition that you'll see teams draft nowadays have multiple people with large sources of life gain, and you get so much value out of this really cheap little component item that it just really helps out so much to have your tank have that and not have to have your AD carry divert some gold to executioners.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think about it, especially if you're looking at Mortal Reminder versus Lord Dominic's, there's a 20% physical damage difference between the two items just by getting an upgraded Giant Slayer against the tanks. It certainly means a lot. So imagine you have an item that says your AD carry does 20% more damage. That's a great tank item, and that's what Bramble Vest is half the time here. Gonna see a quick shot on a Hakuho, pushing him away.
There we go.
Yeah, this could be a fight here. Nisqy wants to find somebody, not gonna find it yet. TSM cutting back towards the Baron pit, which a place of relative safety, honestly. They can threaten Baron, they're going to right now.
They feel confident to start forcing things. You know, as you said, Tristana here, DoubleLift is operational. He's quite ready.
Biofrost, they find a stun. The body slam, yeah, but here comes Shen, and look at that, just knocked right back out with the carpet. The heal's not gonna be much. Seraph can happily tank it. They've got control of this one. Another knockup is there, and DoubleLift forced a rocket tip away over the wall, and been doing a good job on this one so far.
A couple of air balls there from TSM. They use Stand United, they use Gragas Ultimate, get nothing out of it. So Team Envy feel a lot more confident about moving in to at least, you know, take control of the vision around Baron. Maybe they themselves can get one of those setups. Bjergsen gets it done though.
But still, it's on the tank. The three frontliners pretty happy there for Envy. Seraph pops Righteous Glory, buys about a half-second movement speed, then kites right back out. But slowed down, stunned, and put down below 3,000 health. 3,000, it's such a big damage output. Seraph's gonna be okay for now, obviously.
Yeah, he heals up pretty quickly with that Spirit Visage as soon as he can get over to either Raptors or, you know, mid-lane minions or something.
Yep, and it's a 9-stack Cho'Gath. He can no longer feast off of small things. Has to get champions or epic monsters to get any farther in this, but certainly a scary Cho'Gath with that, you know, 4,500 max health. Yeah. Double and Hauntzer able to grab this Ocean Break, which I actually think is pretty useful if you're playing Baron dances. It can be quite a meaningful upgrade if your tanks lose a third of their health to a Baron buff and then, or to a Baron itself, and then heal back up kind of in the interim.
That being said, at this stage of the game, 31 minutes in, I definitely prefer either the Infernal or the Mountain.
Agree.
Definitely take what you can get though, because it was effortless.
Exactly, it was. So can't complain. No gift horses being looked in the mouth right now, or gift breaks in this regard. There's Envy waiting with their deathless LirA to find their next way into this one. Still, the game 2,200 apart, and we're just waiting the entire time for when's that next climactic fight going to come through.
Yeah, and it really does feel like TSM are so confident, even though there is this small gold lead for Envy. DoubleLift in his interview, you know, he also talked about how, oh yeah, when we try out different team comps, you know, it can be a little bit risky in the LCS, but when we really want to win, guaranteed win, it'll be Bjergsen on a high DPS mage in the mid lane, me on a scaling AD carry, you know, with the rest of the guys playing frontline. And that's basically what they have here.
Yep.
You know, Ardent Sensor has been done for a while for Biofrost with the Lulu, so they have means of protecting him. Now they're starting off the Baron while Envy are taking mid turret. They're going to burn this one down really quickly.
It is going to drop quickly. Can they knock it down in time as the team comes to set up? It's only 3,000 gold, 3,000 health apart. Seraph could be in a race, though. He has flash, he has feast. He's not going to. A nice fight to defend. Now here comes the team fight to the quickness. Double gets out. He's safe. And Bjergsen behind the wall means that backliners are safe to put the damage across. No champion kills just yet, but Seraph getting dangerously low. Bjergsen puts the ulti across, and he can't find the kill just yet. The red comes through, and one goes down as Svenskeren falls. Now TSM 4v5 flashing away. Here comes the knockup. Brand enters is in. They're looking for Double to get the hit. They're looking to knock him down. They're trying. The taunt's going to buy a few more seconds, but they're still going to take him out. Nisqy picks that one up nicely. No Hauntzer on the run. Flashes away from the rupture. 2 kills picked up. and LirA's on the chase. A nice knockback here.
Has flash.
Gets away too. Does LirA want back in? Can't find it. 2 for 0 though. Envy need to pick up something else to pay for the Baron gold.
Yeah, this is actually close. They're going to try and force it here. LirA does have flash, but it's getting pretty risky. His DPS members are low health.
And they'll just kite back for now. And honestly, if this just resets, TSM could be happy. Wearing a 3-man Baron buff, fight over red buff. Hauntzer knocked into the air. Feast is available.
Yeah.
Gotta be a bit careful. He's getting lower. If LirA goes for a bit more, they can maybe knock him down, but a shield keeps him safe. Red buff secured. I believe that was by LirA. He's wearing it now, yep. So seems like he's fine.
Whew. Definitely tense there, because it was on the verge of breaking into an Envy swap there and chase down for multiple kills. If they had been able to catch DoubleLift, it was really going to turn. Anyways, here's another look at the fight. Bjergsen, as you can see, is cut off by the Taliyah wall, so he didn't have a very good angle on the fight. He's forced to flash out there, and that's why Envy are able to turn. They got the single kill first to start it out onto Svenskeren, and then this is where it got risky. DoubleLift gets hit with the double knockup, taken down here by
Nisqy.
Nisqy was actually able to do most of the damage, and after this, Envy are really looking for the extra one, but not able to get any more knockups after that.
Not just yet, but still the 2 for 0 buys them a bit more time. As we had seen, mid lane outer turret died to minions during that fight, so Envy is why the gold is still 2.7 thousand apart. Makes it a pretty reasonably close trade as far as overall resources are concerned. TSM going to keep the pressure going. Looking for top side now. Again, Baron buff on 3. It's everyone, but I believe it was DoubleLift and Sven, the 2 who died. But for most crucially, Hauntzer and more members of the core team do have that buff. Hauntzer right now, both TP and ulti. This means it's not quite safe to split push. But in 20 seconds, he will be safe to go bot lane. Sven going to grab away some of the crowds, walk back out. Ooh.
It's looking scary, though. DoubleLift has completed the Lord Dominic's regards. TSM can just bully through the front line, basically. Play standard team fight, kill the tanks that are in front of them, not have to get into a risky position. Currently, they want to use this Baron buff for a secondary turret here on bottom side. I think that Envy might want to see this one away. It's definitely risky to defend these, and they actually don't have Nisqy there yet. He is Taliyah, though.
Not going to be around. Turret is going to fall. TSM get the gold a little bit closer, back to 2,000. A stun comes across. They're looking for the knockup, and they're going to find Hakuho 1 for 0. Now Nisqy on the walls. Of course, they rocked up on a DoubleLift feeds. Now the marksman is not part of the fight just yet. Nisqy still running backwards. Envy, they're not going to find anything else in this one. TSM, though, with a 5v4. Ooh, nice bit of chunk out of Bjergsen, but the shield going to keep him safe for now. Sven tries to body block some more shots, and 2 more autos means the turret will fall. Nicely done to DoubleLift. And now this game within 700. Well played by TSM off the Baron buff. They lost 2, but they still played the map right. And they knocked down 2 tier 2 turrets. Nicely played.
Yeah, they used that prize quite well. 2 turrets and the extra kill. A lot of gold here going over. They can just leave wards behind in Envy's jungle, and that's how you take away those options for the comeback, where the Fog of War, Kalista, Rakan combo is kind of scary, but if you have them under turrets like this, you see them coming. TSM lands some very nice stuns right there. Svenskeren turns around, hits him with the Gragas ultimate after, I believe Bjergsen nailed him with the Syndra stun. Yeah, set that one up, and you kind of take away the Fog of War, then it takes away a lot of the power here of Team Envy's potential comebacks.
Totally agree. The game is certainly tightening up quite a bit right now. TSM up an Infernal and an Ocean Drake against what Envy have for neutral buffs. Locket now done, the second one for Hakuho as he builds towards his next support builds. Thornmail fully completed for Seraph, the same for Hauntzer.
I think Envy might have one trick left in the bag here. They have the Cho'Gath and Kalista with the Elder Drake 20 seconds away. They can actually do it quite quickly, even if Cho'Gath is now defending on top side. Maybe TSM are just going to rush them. They don't want to give them any time on any neutral objectives, pushing up to the top side first, forcing Envy's hand.
Yeah, and they're going to force them to go to the top lane right now. Top tier 2 is going to fall. That's 3 turrets in a row now for TSM, looking for the inhibitor as they've tied the gold up and actually have just the slightest of leads right now. Sven going to get away with the satchel if he needs it. Not going to just yet. LirA waiting in the wings, knocks down Bjergsen's Banshee's Veil, though. And as TSM stays grouped up, what is Envy going to find for themselves? Only inhibitor turrets left up now for TSM's taking damage into LirA. The body slam is there. They can go to knock him down, and they're going to try to blow him up, and they will do so. The first death of the game for the Envy jungler defending MVP is gone. Apollo is going to pull Hakuho right back out.
Bjergsen stun into Svenskeren Cask finds another pick for TSM, and just like that, EnVy's really only trick they had left of neutral objective power is off the board. No jungler, and TSM 5-4 means you can't even walk close to this team.
You cannot. Seraph would not be in range. Yes, he's got flash, but he'd be killed if he wanted to try. So Elder Dragon picked up cleanly and well played Biofrost. Maybe ending the game the way he started, doing incredible damage. 5 HP, Elder Dragon goes down. And he's doing well for himself with redemption done. TSM have, looks like now, at this point, all the tools they need to win this game against EnVy.
Definitely would seem like it's the case here. There's a Quicksilver onto DoubleLift, so even if he does get caught, has the extra escape, is almost level 18, maxing out the range. It's definitely dream scenario for him at the moment. He's got a very nice front line in Svenskeren and Hauntzer to work behind, as well as the Ardent Sensor, of course, that we kept on talking about from Biofrost. Lulu herself even adding extra attack speed, so it's definitely fun to play AD carry at this point in the game.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You are the most important person on the entire map. As long as your team queues for you, everyone dies in front of you. I believe actually Double at this point now will hit attack speed cap with Rapid Fire on because of his build. So certainly no more attack speed needed thanks to Ardent Sensor.
That being said, Bjergsen has been more important because he's landed the 2 stuns to set up these picks, I'd say.
Right, yeah.
And it's kind of made it
better.
Easy. But definitely need to respect that crowd control here because that's what will turn the game, if anything. A little bit of a combo possibility.
And you can see EnVy was holding on to golds for so long, but as you mentioned, TSM, if they have just a scaling mid, scaling bot lane, they can eventually wait the game out, and it's going to work for them. Game 1 might shortly go to TSM's way. As they continue to knock down these minions, look for the occasional chip shots on that turret. It regens, but not as quickly as Double can deal damage, down to about half HP right now. More shots coming through, and down to 1/3. 2,000 gold lead TSM. The shield is on, and DoubleLift going to knock this one down, and a few more auto attacks. Here comes the wave, down goes the turret. They're going to keep going. Elder Dragon buff hard for EnVy to fight against. It is 180 true damage burn over 3 seconds. They land any poke at all. This can be pushed out very easily. Not quick enough on Hakuho.
I mean, it was already hard for EnVy to fight a straight-up 5-on-5 without the Elder Dragon. And with it, it's definitely not advisable for sure.
Do what they can, though.
Yeah, will they be able to set up any sort of side? Oh!
A lot of damage on Seraph. He's not quite going to burn down, but it's close. Going to kite back, stay alive. He'll recall and home guard back in when he can. 5v4 not a good idea for TSM. Going to find not quite the slow into LirA.
Good thing for EnVy is that Seraph is the member with teleport, so even though he has to go back to the fountain to heal, they might have one last-ditch effort, shot at contesting a Baron and getting in there. He's currently right back out on the field. Actually, did he have a Warmogs? He must have a Warmogs. He healed up back to full.
Yes, that is Warmogs. He fully healed all the way back up. So, yep, he's ready to go for more. Baron going to be targeted one more time. DoubleLift getting away from the Rupture. Nicely done. More shots on a Seraph, who's back at full HP. Gets a shield. Nice charm. Looking for Hauntzer to knock him down for the first one. And Baron is not close to dead at all, but a blast cone keeps Hauntzer safe for a few more seconds. 8,000 health in the Baron, but it's TSM forced to kite back. Hauntzer from the back line. Looking for a big and a knockback by DoubleLift. Actually betrays the explosive cast for Sven. So no engagement to come in just yet. EnVy actually kind of fortunately able to kite back.
Yeah, a little bit of messed up coordination there from DoubleLift and Svenskeren, but doesn't matter. Redemption, full heal, and they're back on Baron.
Yeah, speaking of full heal, though, Seraph is well able to go for this one. And again, he's got the feast available. Can he find the way in, though?
He's got no flash.
Looking for the opening. Knock up onto one, but it's only the Shen. It's not an easy target to kill. Scuttle goes to TSM. They're still waiting on top of this one. Bot minions are still pushing into the base, though at some point, EnVy must react to the bot lane dead inhibitor, and it's Nisqy's going to go.
Interesting choice there. They definitely want to keep the threat of Seraph getting in for the Baron steal. That's why he's not going back.
They've got to go now then, because they're going to lose turret soon.
Rupture down now.
Stun coming in. Here comes Super Minions in the base, and out of the front line, Seraph going to stay alive. Take through the Syndra. Ultimate staying alive. Looking for the feast. They're going to knock down Svenskeren. It's going to be 1-for-1. Yes, as the Cho'Gath falls, but now into LirA. The rocket jump forward. He's looking to do it, and yes, the flash form means Double gets this one. Now a 2-for-1. Can he find a third, or does he even want to? Getting shot at right now, but here comes the knockup. The exhaust is in. He has to buy some time, and yes, Nisqy gets a seismic jump to pick up the kill. It's a 2-for-2 now. 3v3 on the map. And both major carries are alive for EnVy, but their base, again, being attacked by minions means they might have to kite back now.
You could tell DoubleLift's blood starts boiling on the Tristana late game team fights. Hops in 1v3, gets taken down due to the exhaust of Hakuho. And EnVy at least will buy themselves a little bit of time to clear the minions out of the base. I don't think there's any way you know, we get a Baron steal in here unless Nisqy decides to use his ultimate.
No smite for TSM. Hakuho just chunked out Luck. It's not going to be enough. Bjergsen with the Q lands the kill right there, the 3v1.
Oh, threaded volley.
All right, Nisqy, there's no smite. Can you do it? Now it's on cooldown.
No
the short
vision
cooldown. It's going to be almost impossible. Apollo nearby, looking for the attempt, and he's not going to make it happen. Good job by Bjergsen. Had the better vision. The guesswork just not quite there for Nisqy, and a contestable but clean enough Baron for TSM.
Whew. All right, let's take another look. Seraph had just used his Rupture, so they know that big cooldown not available for the team fight, and they take him down. He does get off his beast before he goes down, but again, DoubleLift on the Tristana can just melt through the front line. You know, he has ridiculous crit multipliers. This one, though, jumps right into Hakuho, who exhausts and knocks him up for the kill here. A little bit over-eager. Definitely want the Lulu with you in range to give you that extra speed and shield. So you can dodge. Basically, as soon as you jump in like that, you expect skill shots to be fired at you. So you jump in and immediately dodge either back or to the side. But with the exhaust slow there, he's just in range for the knockup, and Hakuho is able to lock him down. Really good play there from the NB support.
Totally agree. A nice job by them to get that kill, but at the end of the day, it was still TSM who got a 3 or 4-man Baron. I believe Sven was still dead when it came through, but yeah, looks like, no, he has the buff. So it was a 4-man Baron buff picked up for them, and they're going to look for this top lane inhibitor turret now. They're leaving Hauntzer to split push to the mid lane. He's got the ulti available. DoubleLift safe with the shields, knocks back Hakuho to be sure he is safe. And another turret falls. 9-3 in turrets. Envy have not made inroads across the map really at any point in this game.
They tried to close off top lane road, but looks like it's back open for business.
Yep.
Get wall down already.
Quick repair work out of them and knock it down. Looking at mid lane inhibitor turret, that's going to fall as well. So now it's just open inhibs and a single Nexus turret left for TSM to knock down. It's almost all she wrote. Here comes the knock. Going to find one, but it's only the Gragas who pops the stone plate. Stays alive quite a bit longer. They're still going to keep trying with a follow, but be careful because the re-engage could come in. Hakuho staying alive though. Seraph in the front lines, and it's going to take so long to kill any of these tanks off just yet. Hakuho kites back, he's going to stay alive. Still a 5v5 right now, but TSM just have more damage to work with, and they forced back the front line. So here comes round 2 as they go to the mid lane as well. The inhibitor's all gone, and Baron up is down through the bot lane as well. Looking to close this one out. Health bars filled back up for Team Envy. This is the last fight they could possibly hope to defend with, otherwise the game's going to end, and TSM going to take game 1. Big shots down on the turret, and now all the structures are dead except the Nexus itself. Seraph still holding the front line. Svenskeren down a half. They're going to find LirA. Going to buy a bit more time, but he's still going to go down. 1 for 0, 2 for 0. As Bjergsen finds another one onto Hakuho, and now the retreat is called. And Envy just forced to run away onto the fountain. The kill still coming through, a third into the game thanks to Bjergsen. That's going to be the Nexus fall at 11-13 in kills, but it's TSM outscaling, winning the team fights and taking game 1.
TSM staying calm in this game. You know, coming into game number 1, it feels like their game plan was, we'll just draft, you know, a solid, basically classic 5-on-5 composition.
Very much.
Scale up. We are confident that Envy won't be able to take advantage of us early, and that is the critical point. You know, sometimes we do get, you know, snowballing, especially out of champions, you know, like LirA's on Rek'Sai, and with, you know, contracts taking over a game and getting, what, 10 kills before 10 minutes or something like that. But
and LirA was 5:05, but that was at 40 minutes or whatever, and at that point he got scaled on.
All right, I don't think the game. Oh yeah, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
that was actually a lot longer. Time flies when you're casting with Phreak.
It's a fun moment, man, Kobe. I enjoyed it with you as well. Hey, we got more games. 1, maybe 2. Who knows?
Just in this series here, yeah. Game number 2 coming up quickly. Envy has a chance to try and fight back, but you know, TSM looked pretty confident, and they didn't show too many big mistakes in this game. There, you know, there's definitely improvements to make, but
there was that one tower dive that was pretty bad where they got 4 for 1. But other than that, you're right. It was a pretty solid TSM game, and Envy, I think they did their very best, but I think TSM is a stronger team overall, and this game kind of went the way you expect when one of the teams is, I think, strictly a better squad. We'll see if Envy can shape up a bit more. Certainly, it's going to be difficult. Of course, we're the ones covering the post game for now, and yeah, I'm kind of curious what's kind of next in store for these squads. Nisqy had a pretty solid game. He actually went unkilled the entire time on the Taliyah. He had some very good walls, some very good roams. And I don't know, just what it comes down to is this is a team that got outscaled and could not quite snowball, despite LirA's best effort.
That's the thing, too, because, you know, looking at these champions, I actually feel pretty confident there for, you know, Team Envy that those are some good champions for their players. Nisqy on the Taliyah, you know, they got the Kalista as well. So it's not really something you attack there. Like you were saying before, it felt like TSM were just more confident as far as we can outplay and sustain early on, and we'll just rely on the scaling for later.
And speaking of scaling for later, I got to give a huge shout out to DoubleLift. 50,000 damage in a 45-minute game. And this is a game where they only had like 11 kills, so there weren't that insane number of team fights, but well over 1,000 damage per minute is very, very good, especially when you're not playing a poke champion. He has to auto-attack to make that happen. Okay, there's a Cho'Gath right in front of you, like there's a big meat bag to go punch, and yes,
let's talk about DoubleLift for a while then, because
he did great.
One of the main things that we've always looked at with DoubleLift, you know, over the years, and he's done this since he started playing League of Legends, is how he has that high DPS uptime that we talked about for AD carries, right? He's the one looking for the rupture cooldowns that we talked about in that last team fight, and as soon as it's down, he's going for auto attacks. He's only worried about, you know, those food crowd control abilities that are actually going to lock him down. And he does a very good job usually of taking those into account and taking into account, you know, the possible damage up. But once in a while, you know, it screws up, and sometimes it's on a very big stage and people flame him for it. But you don't get those type of DPS numbers without being that type of player that's always looking for the openings and looking for the small timing windows between those abilities.
And by and large, he was very solid this game. Well played by TSM. Take over game one, and now we're going to toss it over to our analysts to see what they make of that TSM win.
Thank you very much, Phreak. TSM clawing their way to a victory there against EnVy. But I got a feel for EnVy in this situation because we're going to pull up Champions Life. And when you look at this, to me, I'm like, this is an ideal TSM comp. You've got Bjergsen on a champion, on Syndra, just one, it's Syndra, but two, he can control the lane, be aggressive, look for solo kills, roam as he pleases. You've got DoubleLift on a hyper carry in Tristana looking to take turrets. You've got protection for that, great disengage, cross-map plays. I'm like, that's like the holy trinity of a TSM comp. But also, how would EnVy even force them off of that?
Right, I mean, you see pretty three standard bans here. Maokai, you know, Caitlyn and Zach can't really give those up for free. They take the Gragas first of all things. Doesn't look like a power pick by any rights when the other team is going to be able to grab Kalista and Cho'Gath.
Right.
EnVy is smashing this draft.
In the 7-14 meta, people are like, what the heck are you doing, TSM, giving up those picks?
And they're fine with it because they're TSM. This is their comfort, and they're really strong players. And so even though EnVy ends up with a fantastic comp and are actually in lead for most of this game, TSM shows over time that they are the better team.
Again, the mastery of how to play this style. And I think, again, the point is that you don't have an option red side against TSM to take them off of this, because if you're going to take them off of the comfort, you're opening up the OP champions, those that are considered to be the top tier. And so already, from a comp perspective, we're saying, oh, EnVy's got the odds stacked against them. But they do the classic EnVy thing. They get their early lead. So let's take a look at how they get it 13 minutes into the game. EnVy pick up a 4-for-1 here in the bot lane.
Really nice job responding overall to the pressure. They try and get the knockback onto Apollo. Nice charms out of Hakuho to try and keep him alive. Apollo ends up going down, but he's bought enough time now for Nisqy and LirA to flash in. The teleport's completed for Seraph, and now TSM is completely trapped between two turrets. No way out. Bjergsen gets feasted down on, drops instantly, and it's a pretty nice cleanup for the rest of them. And overall, a great game out of Apollo, Hakuho, and LirA. The three of them combined pretty well to get the first blood. They worked well on this. The one downside was on the back end of that fight, TSM was able to grab the turret, and that was kind of the story of this game, was that like EnVy had the kill lead. They felt like they were doing really well, but they were always down turrets the entire game. I think they only ended with 3 turrets and they were at 2 for the vast majority of that game.
Contrast that to the CLG series that we just saw completed against Phoenix One, where Phoenix One actually takes the victories. Similar starts, right? Phoenix One got out to early game leads, but was able to continue to push those advantages. And on the flip side, CLG wasn't able to stem the bleeding. This time around, TSM recognizes, hey, we're in the hole. We need to stop the fighting, stop the bleeding, just look to clear the waves, gain map advantage back, use the tools that we have in the split pushing Shen in order to take those turrets and even up the gold that way.
And another thing that was that they understood when they needed to make plays as well, because they forced that first Baron that they got very hard. It was like basically a 5v5 situation. They lost, I believe, 2 or 3 people on the way out, but they stopped EnVy from getting that Baron. And that's one of the things you have to kind of tip your hat to for TSM, is that they understand how to shut down the opponent's win conditions. They make sure that they're never in a situation where they need to risk a Baron against a Kalista Cho'Gath, who have excellent neutral objective
You
control.
also got to tip your hat rather to these two guys. Of course, DoubleLift topping the damage charts on that Tristana, 50K to the barely 19K out of Kalista. Bjergsen, however, will be picking up player of the game for the Syndra play, extending the game with those picks. As you mentioned, they knew when they needed to make a play, and they executed on it. Bjergsen was a big part of that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you see the crazy numbers out of DoubleLift. Well, he has a Lulu Shen to protect him. Most of the time, a lot of the protection is ending up on him.
Right.
And then, like you said, in the
You also get that Lulu damage.
You do get that damage, and especially in the mid game where the Syndra's power spiking before the Tristana. That speaks to your point about extending the game. He found a couple kills on a Cho'Gath as a fight was ending and things like that.
All right, but again, we've got top tier teams right now, kind of struggling against, you know, EnVy is a playoff team without a doubt. But he's struggling against teams that we would have expected them to beat. So we'll see if TSM can kind of shore things up in the early game and close the next one out cleanly. Game 2 against EnVy coming up soon. Don't touch that browser.